Welcome to NBA Today, presented by Häagen-Dazs.
It's all about business. Haircut, tightened up, ready to roll for Game 6.
That's just what Vic do. I think that's the type of guy he is. You know, man of his word. So when he came in, kind of came with that outfit, I think everyone knew what was going to happen.
Wemby going to look from deep. Didn't get one in Game 5. Hits his first.
This game we just played, that's definitely the biggest game of my life. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I'm good. I'm ready to go. Biggest game of my career. Yeah.
Is it the biggest game?
It's the next game, and if I lose, my season's over.
Spurs have pulled it off, and there will be a 7th game.
NBA fans, they're feeling like Dylan Harper, right? Your prayers have been answered. We are getting a Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals, and in this series, that feels exactly like what we deserved. Alongside Shanae Ogwumike, Danny Green, who has played in how many Game 7s?
A couple.
Four Game 7s
Couple
for
good
DG.
ones.
I'm Malika Andrews, and I think all of us were hoping, right, since we saw that Game 1 nail-biter, that this was going to be a series that went the distance. Danny, you've played in them. What makes Game 7 different?
Man, I mean, we've been waiting for this, right?
Yes.
I like to compare it to the Super Bowl and football. People love football so much because of how every possession matters so much. Obviously, the playoffs is heightened and every possession matters, but in Game 7, it's intense. Like, people get into it, like, every timeout, every dive, every loose ball, every executed play or non-executed play, somebody's getting cussed out, might get heated. So these Game 7s going to be very intense, and I think we're going to get a good one because this is what we've all been waiting for.
Exactly. This is what Eminem was talking about when he said you get one shot and one opportunity. But before we look too far ahead, clearly we're excited. Let's look at how we got here because the Spurs were facing a must.
We knew it then.
You knew that when he walked in. Yes, it was for a holiday, but he was going to bring the energy here. OKC, though, they haven't performed well today. We talked about this yesterday in Game 6s. Their last 3 consecutive Game 6s, they lost. So they were hoping to turn things around. They had Jalen Williams back in the lineup. Not so fast.
Yeah, not so fast because Victor Wembanyama came with this shot. He was literally on fire, and this was the play right here. Just stepping into shots, knocking them down. I love how he wanted the smoke. The Hartenstein matchup was huge in Game 6.
Flamethrower.
Especially now that he got the advantage on this side.
Yeah, Victor Wembanyama started out the game 2 of 2 from 3, and that really got him early. Can I hear an amen?
Amen.
The sisters out there. And then Wemby goes to the bench. Mitch Johnson, he spoke about the Spurs struggling without Wemby.
Obviously, we're better with him on the floor, and we got to be better when he's not on the floor.
And be better, Danny, they were.
Yes, they were. Getting to the paint, not only him, but them. They were attacking, aggressive. They weren't on their heels. They looked like the aggressor this game. Dylan Harper showed up. Like, everybody showed up. Vassell, I love what they did today.
Yeah, they went on an 11-0 run with Wemby on the bench here. Castle was really finding himself. Let's take a listen to Steph Castle on overcoming Wemby's bench minutes.
We know that, when Vic comes off the floor, that there was a slight drop-off. So, just continuing to communicate to each other and make it as tough for them as possible.
So Wemby showing his love there to Luke Cornett, that French vanilla, as they call it. How do you stop this? There's no answer for that.
Was that where his elbow was above?
Yeah,
above the rim.
The Spurs dominated in this one, and Wemby was asked how desperation changes a series. Here he is.
Feels like it erases kind of all the little mistakes that we do that are human nature, whether it's in the regular season or previous games. We just got to fight that all the time. And when your back's against the wall, it feels like it's the best opportunity to do that.
Does it feel like you're very much in the midst of that first year in the NBA?
No, to be honest. I mean, it's a long season. This game 100 count preseason for us, so it feels like I've kind of been in the league for a little while now. But there's still little things that I need to pick up and grasp on. But for the most part, I feel like I belong.
Tonight was do or die, and I think a lot of fans are going to be happy. They say it's the best line in sports, I believe. So we'll be prepared, and I would expect to get their best punch. We're going to go in with our eyes wide open and expecting nothing less.
And that's exactly what they should be doing. But, Danny, we saw a different San Antonio Spurs team here in this Game 6.
Yeah, it was a party. And they're throwing haymakers, but give credit to OKC. They still kind of stayed within the game. But for me, Victor was Victor. He came out, he set the tone. But the others started joining the party. Vassell, Champagny, Keldon Johnson, like Dylan Harper came off the bench and scored. As you hear, he's also making plays. We haven't seen much of Dylan this aggressive since game one. He had that adductor strain, but he's attacking the paint. You got good ball movement, swing. Vassell, this is kind of what got him going. Getting this one, seeing this first one go in, a lot of space, nobody near him. Alex Caruso's trying to close out, knock it down, throw your threes up. And here on the defense end of the floor, this is where he kind of set the tone for me. Like, he was a difference maker of getting in the paint, blocking shots, even in transition, stopping transition, giving Chad a little shoulder bump, like, hey, I'm here. Let the fans know, let his teammates know that we're not backing down, we're ready to play. Again, also ball movement here, attacking the paint. Dylan Harper again to his body, knowing he's good at, using the shoulder, using that big body, shooting over the top. He's kind of got a little Brunson in him. These two guys kind of set the tone and also carried them throughout most of the second half of the game, and that was a difference. Like, the bench of OKC's outscored San Antonio's bench by a lot of points.
Right.
Those guys showing up helped them a huge amount in that game.
Yeah, this is a heavyweight battle. And SGA has said it. After they lose the Oklahoma City Thunder, it's because the San Antonio Spurs, they throw that first punch.
Yeah.
And it is truly a haymaker. And Victor Wembanyama, and you had a perfect line during our highlight. Not only him, it was not only him, but them. It was a collective in which they played with aggression. But this actually works to their advantage because going into Game 7, you have a Victor Wembanyama who scored 28 points in 28 minutes.
Yeah.
The best thing you can have in a series of this epic proportion is active recovery.
Yeah.
He was on the bench in the fourth quarter, so that actually works to their advantage. But my biggest takeaway here is that this group is fearless.
Right.
All the things that we were saying about the Oklahoma City Thunder last year, they run, they go by their defense. They have a superstar. They're the collective. You can say the same exact thing about the San Antonio Spurs.
Right, they're looking in a little mirror.
Life comes at you fast.
Exactly. And to your point about Dylan Harper, I mean, he had 18 points combined in games 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he had 18 points last night. So maybe it's that he feels a little bit healthier. Maybe it's that he's found his rhythm again. But that is the version of Dylan Harper that they're going to need going back into enemy territory. We showed you in the highlight. I don't know why. Game 6s, for whatever reason, they just have not been Oklahoma City's cup of tea, even going back to last year's title run. So let's take a listen to SGA. This is what he said after the loss.
They just punched, and we didn't punch back. They were the aggressors tonight, from start to finish. They played harder than us, made more shots, were more aggressive.
How much mental and physical fatigue do you have, and how are you fighting through it?
Oh, I'm good. I'm ready to go. Biggest game of my career. Yep.
Is it the biggest game?
It's the next game, and if I lose, my season's over.
It's the next game. It's the only game. The Oklahoma City Thunder have been the #1 seed in the West for 3 straight years. No one has had an answer for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander until this series. And let's break it down, the defensive effort of the San Antonio Spurs. And it all comes down to this guy. One name, Stephon Castle. He is doing the Lord's work, holding SGA to 1 of 7 shooting. And get this is the part that's most wild to me. He was only doubled 3 times during Game 6, compared to the first 5 games where he was doubled 20. I can do that all by myself. This is defensively. Let me show you how good and how connected they are on a string, the San Antonio Spurs. First, it's Harper guarding SGA, but there's going to be a screen. And so you step up, Keldon Johnson. I got him. One-on-one, being physical. I know he gets beat. The help side is there on the nail with Fox, forcing a tough contest, and that's a miss. They get the rebound and go, especially with Victor Wembanyama not on the floor. Again, here we've got Stephon Castle on the matchup. A nice little flat screen here. He's going to attack. Okay, we're seeing the most drop coverage. Why? Because Cornette and Victor are the help defenders, forcing another miss. This is the face of SGA, dealing with a defense that we have not seen. Epic proportions behind the Defensive Player of the Year. Look at the shot chart. 6 for 18, 15 points. This is a guy who, for the first time, 4 games straight, shooting below 40%. Again, the Spurs, they're doing it the dirty way. Took a page out of the Thunder's playbook by doing it through defense.
And it's happened all postseason long, really. But the Thunder, I'm sure you've seen this number, Sinead. They're minus 28 in the minutes that SGA is on the floor. They're plus 10 in the minutes that he's off. Some of that, I suspect, though, I think it has to do with Lou Dort. They tend to match minutes, and Lou Dort has been a net negative the entire series. But when you're looking at them getting help back, Jalen Williams, he was made available for last night's game. This is a huge piece, of course, of Oklahoma City's title team. He just didn't quite look like himself. He almost seemed like a break in case of emergency type player. Yeah, that's a tough situation to put any player in, especially coming back from an injury, a hamstring. He hasn't played a lot of minutes. He's been out for a while. This is a high stakes game on both sides, especially San Antonio. They're hungry. They're desperate. Their backs against the wall. They're hyenas out there playing defense, defensively. So
to throw him out there and try to, go against Castle, Vassell, Champagny that are like fighting for their lives, he looked rusty, and it's going to take some time. And now this may be a good test run for him, might be a gift and a curse, or a blessing in disguise. But yeah, he's an all-NBA player. If somebody's up for the challenge, it's going to be him. But this was a tough situation for him, and hopefully, again, this was like something that can build up for Game 7.
It's going to take some time. He ain't got time.
Yeah, well.
Game 7 is right around the corner. Yeah. It's tomorrow night. But more importantly, you and I were both shocked listening to the broadcast. They said he's only playing in 3-minute intervals.
That's right.
No one
Even
can get their rhythm,
Yeah.
no matter how great you are, playing in just 3-minute intervals.
So does that tell you something about how healthy he actually is? Because again, this is a hamstring strain, and it's another hamstring strain. It's not even his first one of the season, and so I expect him to be available again here.
Can your hamstring even get warm running for 3 minutes straight?
I was shocked that he came back, honestly.
But, yeah, I was a little bit too. I expect him to be available in this Game 7, but we'll see how Mark Daigneault decides to deploy him here. New York is still waiting, and we do have an update. Shams is joining us because Robinson and that pinky finger that he's got going on there. Did you hear also, it wasn't in practice, it wasn't,
you know that movie?
Bowling?
You know the movie? How you get fired on your day off?
Mike said we're going to leave it at that. So
it is Friday.
Go with me here. The Knicks are already in the finals, but we're going to tell you why the biggest winner of Game 7 on Saturday, it already might be New York. And Danny Green, you've lived through, 4 we decided Game 7s? So tell us that we're back on NBA Today with breaking news, this time out of Orlando. Our senior insider, Shams Charania, is here with us. Shams, the Magic, they have made a decision here on their next head coach. What have they decided on?
Malika, sources tell me that Orlando is hiring Spurs associate coach Sean Sweeney as the franchise's next head coach. Sweeney gets this job during a process that also included finalists in Billy Donovan and Jeff Van Gundy. So now Sweeney will finish up the rest of this postseason on the Spurs bench. We know his value to Mitch Johnson throughout this first season overall for him in San Antonio, running the defense, one of the top defensive teams in the NBA, a 28-win improvement from last season. And I'm told Sean Sweeney really clinched this job in a meeting with ownership in San Antonio on an off day on Wednesday. He's coached stars like Giannis, Luka Doncic, now Wemby, and Stephon Castle. And now will take over a team that has Eastern Conference contending aspirations in Orlando.
I covered Sean Sweeney when he was with the Milwaukee Bucks, and certainly he is a defensively minded coach. And the Orlando Magic, we saw their defense take a little bit of a dip last season, so you have to imagine that he's really going to drill down there with a team that is hoping to go farther than they did in the postseason this year, Shams. Speaking of the postseason, let's get back to the playoffs here in New York side of things, because you also reported this morning that Mitchell Robinson, he had surgery on that broken right pinky. The finals, though, they're only 5 days away. So what do we know about his status for Game 1?
Malika, I'm told that Mitchell Robinson fully plans to play in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, either in Oklahoma City or San Antonio on Wednesday. He's going to do so with a brace on that right hand to be able to play through that broken right pinky. And as for the when and where of this all even happening, the hand fracture actually occurred outside of team activities earlier this week. And so now Mitchell Robinson will get about a week of rehab before suiting up in Game 1.
Yeah, Mike Brown, he was asked about exactly when this happened, and he left it very, very vague, just saying not at practice, not in a game, but the hope is that he's going to be back here for Game 1. Shams, thank you very much for that insight. Oh, we lost Shams. He was like, I'm out. I broke the news. I got more news to break here. Danny, how important, though, when you look at this postseason, has Mitchell Robinson been, and will he continue to be as they march on?
I think this series upcoming for them, he's the most important, because their superpower is their offensive rebounding and also to play big against a Wemby or Isaiah Hartenstein. Like, he's the reason why they struggle, why Wemby struggled against the New York Knicks. So people are thinking it's a pinky. I've had a metacarpal fracture before. It's really more so in the hand. There's no excuse for that. Hopefully it's not because somebody's messing with his truck. I don't know if you've seen the videos or not. But this is important. He's important to this group. For them to survive or also win and be like a comfortable Knicks team that they've been, he has to be healthy and playing his best basketball, because he is the reason why they can neutralize a Wembyama or a Hartenstein.
Can you just show us one more time your hand?
In the hand. It's more like inside the hand. So the metacarpals are in the hand. His probably more so. It's not out. Like, people think, oh, it's just a little pinky. Like, This
All right.
affects you a lot more when
Got it.
catching, when grabbing, or swiping down, so that's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, but as players, you know, there are certain injuries you cannot play with. But when it comes to your hand, if you have a brace and you do have protection, you do have a fair chance.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's lighting it up from three, right?
A bunch of jump shots.
He's got to be able to grab that offensive
He just got to be able to, like, tap
Yeah.
that thing inside the basket.
Right.
But I do think the two numbers that are important when it comes to his impact, top 5 in offensive rebound and holding his opponents to 38% shooting from the floor. So him being there is a big factor. More so for his body, not necessarily for the
All right, so that he can be able to snatch that offensive rebound.
That's all he
and go
needs to
in
do.
for a little putback there. The Knicks, though, they're still waiting. They're going to be waiting until tomorrow to find out who their finals opponent is. But Karl Anthony Towns, he said that they're going to get back to practice. That's where we find him earlier today.
We understand what happened last time we had a layoff like this, so we're just trying to be better than we were last time and approaching it better and preparing better than last time. You know, we obviously are making tweaks to not have a kind of the same rust. We're preparing every single day for whatever the situation may be, and we're just ready. So we're just, you know, we have a lot of days. We've been fortunate. It's a fortunate thing that happens when we have a lot of time where we can figure out a lot of the puzzle. And but, you know, we don't know what the picture is yet until, you know, we get to Wednesday next week.
While we wait for that picture to be painted, he's picture perfect. Bobby Marks is joining us now. And Bobby, the Knicks, they're on a historic run. They've won 11 straight games. And let's go back. Do y'all remember Bobby Marks, when he was in the Nets front office, they won 10 straight games on their way to an NBA Finals. So what do you remember from that then applies to New York?
Well, first of all, I had a lot more hair back in 2003 here, Malika. So I listen, I think it's a little bit different. I think back in looking at New Jersey, back in those days here, we built that roster going into the 2002-03 season to compete against the Lakers in the NBA Finals with Shaq there. Unfortunately, we got San Antonio instead with David Robinson and Tim Duncan. So I think certainly from a roster construction, it was a little bit different where this Knicks team, they lose to Indiana last year. They stayed patient as far as what they were able to do. Certainly go out and hire Mike Brown as their head coach here. But I think that from a roster, from a rest standpoint, we wound up losing game 1 here. I think it's a little bit quicker of a turnaround just based on where they are this year compared to 23 years ago.
Yeah, and they also talked about how they saw that they were letting their foot off the gas a little bit in game 1 against Cleveland. They're trying not to do that after this long layoff. We saw that the roster that you built there, it included Richard Jefferson, so clearly some of your decisions were a little bit questionable, although he was very important to that team. But the Knicks, Bobby, they really built this in a unique way. We talked about the pay cut, essentially, that Jalen Brunson took and what that allowed to open up for the rest of this Knicks team. How are they able to construct this?
Yeah, they're a little bit different than what Oklahoma City and San Antonio has done with homegrown talent here. I think when you look at roster building, usually, Malika, it's done with the draft, trades, and then free agency. New York's kind of flipped the script a little bit here, where it's basically been through trades. When you look at their starting 5, 4 out of their 5 players have been acquired in trades. Jalen Brunson is the outlier. They go out and sign him from Dallas, and that's even a unique situation because when does a player who's making $25 million or more actually switch a team? And then they did that with Brunson. And then you look at the back end with their roster, it's depth, right? They basically have with Mitchell Robinson, who was a draft pick, Landry Shamet, free agency, Jordan Clarkson, Deuce McBride here, kind of fringe moves, and that's been more of a strength this year than what was an Achilles a year ago.
Yeah, certainly this Knicks team. We've seen a trend the last couple of years. The team that's lost in the conference finals, they're then the team that represents the East for the last 4 straight
they go on
years.
to the finals.
That's true. So New York, they're still keeping good on that trend, but will they be like the Boston Celtics, a team that breaks through and wins it all? We shall see. Bobby, thank you. We're going to see you a little bit later. We got a Game 7 to talk
by Häagen-Dazs.
And in this corner, the defending and still champions of the world.
The champs. They've been hearing it all. That the Spurs had their number.
Isn't that what you want, the heavyweight fight, Red?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness!
We're talking about body blow upon body blow between these two teams.
Unshaken, unbeatable, unthinkable.
They respect each other, but they don't like each other.
Kane and his arm. Oh, Fox his arm. He scored anyway.
Sometimes you just have to say enough is enough.
And there will be a 7th game.
We get it tomorrow. SGA and Wemby, they will be the first players to both rank top 3 in MVP voting and face off in a conference finals Game 7 in the same season since Larry Bird and Julius Erving. Dr. J did it in the 1982 East Finals. Now, the Sixers, they went into Boston. They won Game 7 behind 34 from Andrew Toney. 29 points, 3 steals, and 3 blocks
There's a name.
from Dr. J. And Wemby, last night, he had an otherworldly performance. And maybe it came from this moment where he was hyping up his team. Wemby, what did you say?
What did you say in that speech, and how do you feel like you guys carried that out early in the game?
I don't remember.
You believe him?
He blacked out.
He said, I am going extraterrestrial. Not a lot of words. It was all about what he showed on the court here. He came out hot in the first half. He scored 22 points, outscoring his Game 5 total. This was also Wemby's 5th 20-point half of the season, the most by a Spurs player since 1998. And the struggles continued for SGA, Chanae.
Yeah, here he's trying to get to his spots. He's dealing with physicality. He's drifting away. He's on the floor, and he's not making his shots. The Spurs did an excellent job containing the back-to-back MVP.
Okay, Steph.
And most importantly, you collect the rebound.
Yeah. Stephon Castle's great moving those puppies.
Cookies!
Would say.
This is what SGA had to say about his post-game struggles here. Let's take a listen.
A lot of the shots that I'm shooting, I've shot plenty of times before and they feel good. They're just not going in. It's too late to abandon my work and abandon my game and who I am. This late in the season, I got to trust it and live or die by it.
So SGA, he finished with 15 points. The Thunder lost this one big, and now they look to bounce back at home in Game 7. But just some numbers here. The Thunder, they were outscored 27-9 in the 7 minutes with SGA on the floor. That's when Wemby was also off of the floor in Game 6. And he also shot 1 for 6 from the field during that stretch. The Spurs, they were red hot. They made all 4 threes. But experience tends to matter when the lights start shining the brightest, and it can get a little bit squinty, Danny. You know from firsthand experience. Is that a factor that could determine Game 7?
Absolutely. And I've been a part of, 4 Game 7s. Most of them decided by 3 or less points. And
really?
Like by end of shot clock, there was a game winner. Chris Paul hit one over us.
That's right.
Don't like that one. Miami in the finals, where Ray Allen forced the Game 7. That was still a close one. And then, of course, Kawhi, the shot. So I've had a couple Game 7s where it was tight. I remember early on, our first couple Game 7s, the first one we won pretty comfortably. The second one, we played the Clippers, and it was tight. And that's the one Chris Paul hit the floater over.
Yeah.
Execution by execution. The first 5 minutes of the game, we're calling 3 or 4 timeouts because of mistakes happen. As you see, this was the first and last moment I ever seen Kawhi let the moment get a hold of him. We miscommunicate on a call. A lot of times I'm getting chewed out, but we come back to that huddle. Timmy's in his ear, Tony's in his ear. Kawhi, you cannot allow that to happen. Matt Barnes made a big, he was the difference maker in that game. He was their third leading scorer, had 17 points, knocked down shots. In the series, like you said, games shot making. Those other guys, you can't allow them to dictate or move or swing a series. And he allowed Matt Barnes to get hot, that 1 3-pointer. That dictated kind of how the game was going to go.
So, Danny, if you are currently on the Spurs as the elder statesman, what are you telling them going into one of the hardest environments in sports?
Well, I'm hoping they're just allowing themselves to just really just breathe in the game.
Right.
And, not think about the outside noise, not think about the lights. Because once you start thinking about it,
it's too late.
So give them a task, give them a challenge, make sure that hopefully they're too young to even notice or even know any better, and just play free. So I just want them to have fun and play free like they did in Game 6. If they can do that, but it's going to be different in that OKC crowd.
Is it possible, though, to be so... I know we heard Dylan Harper say that he feels like the grades are coming in already because he's played over 100 games this season. But is it possible that youth and inexperience, you can just say, you know what, we're going to go in here and play free. We have nothing to lose?
We hope. And it is very possible. With this group, they've shown times they've been fearless, but it's going to start with Wemby. It ends with him.
But it's starting with a guy, right? You're saying it starts with Wemby. And you're 22. Absolutely right. But he's 22, Chanae, and it starts with a guy who's never played in a Game 7 versus on the other side, it starts with a guy who's played in 3.
But Victor Wembanyama is built different. He's been a pro for almost his whole life. He has every advantage the game can afford him. The most important thing to me is controlling his emotions. And I love how he says he wears his emotions on his sleeve. He will cry in front of people. He will yell. He will get frustrated. And he will be short in answers. But still, he does not cheat the game. He does not short the game. And so if I'm Victor Wembanyama, I'm just playing as hard as physically possible. I am trying to dunk everything. In the wins, he's had 3, 6, 4 dunks. I am trying to snatch the screws out of the rim. And so overall, even though I'm young, I feel like I am built for this. And every moment that we expect, he delivers. And now SGA, it feels like the dam is going to come open at some point. The floodgates have to let loose, especially systematically at home. Will it happen? It's cool. You've got 2 MVPs, an MVP now and an MVP of the future.
So who do you got?
She said,
we'll save that for the end of the show.
She said we're saving that. We're saving that for one more block. She said we're saving that one more block. With Wemby, though, in Game 6, he really got going from his jump shooting. It was the most jumpers we've seen him take, and he made them.
Yes.
I worry if they didn't go in, because that's how he got going before he ever went downhill, if that could get away from him in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, that was my biggest concern, that and his fatigue. Like, is he got some rest? Like you said, active recovery.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can bounce back, bring that same energy. But the jump shot opened up the paint for him. He had 23 paint touches, I think 26 over the last 4 games prior to that. So he's got to make sure he's in the paint. If the jumper is not falling, at least he's aggressive. I like that he was aggressive in shooting the basketball, but he's got to get close to the paint. He's got to bring that same energy. So that was my biggest concern with them as well. And at the end of the show, I'll tell you who my pick is.
You guys are taking my job. The teases are excellent here. We did have an awesome Game 6. We also had a full slate of W games last night, Shanae. Let's get to the action here. The aces and the wings. Dives through 2 defenders.
Because, Danny, that's one of the best shooters we've seen. AZ makes a start and makes them pay. You got to love to see it.
Well, if that's one of the best shooters we've seen, this is one of the best players we've seen of
one
all
of
time.
See that girl.
Asia Wilson, 21.7 rebounds. But what a game from Jess Shepard.
Yeah, Jess Shepard, a 2020 game. This is why you pay $1 million to her to be able to make the Wings a contender. And there goes Paige Bucket.
Big bucks.
Huge win here for Dallas. Shepard had a big game. Becky Hammond, though, none too pleased with the refs.
Asia Wilson shoots 1 free throw. Kennedy Carter, 0. Jackie Young, 0. I'm tired of that bullshit. I'm not saying they didn't earn their 22 down there, but when a Wakuer shoots more free throws than Asia Wilson and Jackie Young and Kennedy Carter all combined, that's a problem. And we're not getting the same whistle. Give me my fine.
Becky, they will.
Hey, a walk,
they will.
A walk getting straight.
In the Bay Area, ball is back in Valhalla here. Sophie Cunningham gets the layup. Clark, by the way, becomes the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 500 career assists. She got there in 59 games here.
Hey, Gabby.
Veronica Burton.
She had herself a game, 25-6, the heart and soul of the Valkyrie.
Not to mention a career best 5 blocks as well. And then Clark.
Got to guard her.
Knocks down the 3.
Do not go under.
16
don't get
points, 6 assists, 6-point game.
Oh, my gosh.
Fever down 2.6 left.
Oh.
Can't get that one to go. Number 1 defense beats the number 1 offense. The
Good
Valkyries
games
hold
everywhere.
some quotes that caught our attention and ask our esteemed contestants and you at home who said that. Come play along with us. Let's take a look. Here are the current standings. Wendy is leading the way. Janae bringing up the caboose.
I don't have enough.
Yeah. Danny, we need to get the minimum games played here. So we're going to start with you, sir.
Yes.
Who said this quote? I think I did pretty good, you know. I don't grade myself off of shot making. Does James Harden not grade himself that way? Does PG not grade himself that way? Or does DeAndre Ayton say, nah, it's not about the shot making?
Lucky me, I got a chance to follow them a little more closely, especially toward the end of the postseason. It was the Cleveland Cavaliers. So it has to be James Harden.
Was it, in fact, James Harden? Well done.
Thank you, producer.
Well done.
It's pretty good, you know. Like I don't grade myself off shot making.
Well done,
Danny. Danny on the board.
Moving on.
All right, Shanae.
Not a great grade.
The bar has been set here. So this person was asked, quote, what's the funniest nickname you've ever had and how did you get it? And this person replied, their nickname is Fine. So besides you, Shanae Ogumake, whose nickname is
Paige Bucket.
Fine stuff?
There's 4, so it can't be stuff.
Fine-ish.
What's the funniest nickname you've ever had and how did you get it?
She's also white chocolate. She said she's white chocolate.
I think you knew it was going to be when she goes, well.
Thank you, Paige, for giving me my first ever win.
Y'all both got the win. I got one more for you. Who said this quote? If we win, I'm going to be drunk all of Hanukkah, 8 days. Josh Hart, Karl Anthony Towns, Jose Alvarado.
I think I know this. If I get it right, can I get this point applied?
We can petition.
I feel like
the
there's only
powers
one
that
person
be.
that would say something like that. I feel like it's Josh.
Well, Josh did bring wine.
I was going to say Grand Theft Alvarado.
It could be Alvarado, but I'm going to say Josh.
All right, my day.
Josh Alvarado. Bonus points for Janae and the sauce.
Jose.
Hey, Monica.
Man.
Down on Water Street, Parade of Heroes.
I'm be drunk for 8 days.
Apply the points.
Apply the points here. Well done, sis. Well done. I thought
Okay,
it was
Zay
going to
Grant
be.
that.
I actually did think Josh, because he brought wine to
And
his
he always says
post-game.
weird stuff post-game. Pizza.
There you
like,
go. Well, Danny, you neutralized yourself on this one. Alvarado's Knicks, right? They're the 5th team in NBA history to win at least 11 straight games within a single postseason, unconfirmed if any of them went on to be drunk for 8 days. But the only teams with a longer streak here are Kevin Durant and Steph. That was in 2017. And then the 99 Spurs as well. So let's check in now on the team that the Knicks eliminated, right? The Cavaliers star Donovan Mitchell. He sat down with Mark Spears to discuss his future in Cleveland in his final edition of My Diary series from the course of this season.
It's over. Believe it, Knicks fans, for the first time in 27 years, the New York Knicks are going to the NBA Finals.
There's no easy way to, it's just like, damn, right? Like, it's over with. I think the worst part about it is just like the sweep is like we had an opportunity, right? It was right there.
Down 22 with 7.5 to go. Knicks take game 1 behind the brilliance of Jalen Brunson.
I'm not saying we go ahead and win the series, whatever happens, happens, but when you have an opportunity, man, and you let it go past, that's killer. Going home, like literally going home to my house is tough just because I won't be able to escape this. I have to see the team that beat us and watch the Fanatics live around the Fanatics, go order my favorite sandwich, and the person behind the counter. It's a Fanatic. It's going to be a long summer, but just get you ready for 19 weeks from now. Yeah, I feel like this has been a consistent theme every single season I've been here. And I thought it would go away once I signed the first extension, but here we are. I said, I love it here. I see growth. I see a runway. I believe I've made Cleveland home. Outside of just basketball, I don't want to go. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Cleveland, y'all know how I feel.
Is it your hope that this group remains together, and do you believe that the outcome will be different?
Yeah, we're a very, very talented group, I'm appreciative of him because he helped me get to somewhere I've never been before. It's different when you have somebody that you look eye to eye with in that scenario, and we live in a world where it's just so much easier to knock and hate, and to see it firsthand, the work ethic, the passion, the IQ, the leadership, it's just like, man, just gets a bad rep. And I saw Denzel say this, like he's won 3 Oscars. And the first thing he said to the interviewer was like, yeah, but I lost 8 times. Like, we don't talk about that. Like, if you would have told me I'm 9 years in, almost a decade in, one of the best players in the NBA, I would be playing with some of the best players ever. I'd be playing for one of the best organizations ever. If you would have told me I'd have my own shoe, if you would tell me all these things, like, I just wouldn't have believed you. We may win a ring here, we may never win a ring here, but I've won in life. I'm out of here. Catch y'all in 19 weeks.
So Donovan Mitchell says he wants to return to Cleveland. The Cavaliers, though, they have a lot of decisions to make this offseason. Bobby Marks is back with us. So, Bobby, what is the first order of business here for Cleveland?
I think, Malika, it's the James Harden contract here. Harden's in a unique situation. He's got a $42 million player option, and there's only $13 million of that guaranteed. So if Harden did opt in, Cleveland could certainly waive him and save a ton of money here. I would expect him to opt out of that contract and both sides to negotiate a little bit of a longer contract, whether it be 2 years. And why opting out makes the most sense is that would put Cleveland potentially under the second apron. If you drop 42 to, let's say, 30, that puts them under the second apron and gives them some flexibility moving forward with Harden.
And they need that flexibility, right, if they want to continue to build towards being a true contender. A player that's gotten a lot of attention, what comes next is Evan Mobley. Bobby, and earlier today, Kobe Altman was asked about Evan Mobley's future. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Can you say definitively that Evan Mobley will be on your team next year?
Evan Mobley?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's part of our future. I don't know what you mean by.
Well, because all these Evan for Giannis.
Yeah, we're not gonna speculate on any players outside these walls.
All right, so Kofi's not really going into it there. But, Bobby, what would have to happen here for the Cavaliers? Do you think that they will look at getting a player like a Giannis Antetokounmpo?
I would just say, listen, anytime you lose in the in the conference finals and you get swept, I think everything has to kind of be on the table as far as how you can improve here, considering even if Giannis does become available, which I think we all know he will be here. I think for Cleveland, it's hard because Giannis makes $58 million. If you're an apron team, you can't take back more salary. When you look at the Cavs cap sheet, there's nobody on that roster making $58 million. I think Evan Mobley is right in the mid-40s here. So it would be difficult for them to go out and do a Giannis type deal if Mobley is the guy out there. Now, as we talked about earlier, if Harden does lower that number, gives them a little bit more of a financial window to possibly make a deal happen here. But I do think it is pretty difficult when it comes to Giannis.
Yeah, and on the Milwaukee Bucks side of all of this, of course, their ownership, Jimmy Haslam, has said that the draft is sort of the deadline that they're looking at to try to get some indication one way or another on where Giannis wants to be here, whether it's still in Milwaukee or elsewhere. Bobby Marks, thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate it. Before we go to break, we're following a developing story here on NBA Today. New federal charges, they were filed on Thursday against Terry Rozier, who prosecutors allege agreed to a $100,000 bribe in order to manipulate his performance in an NBA game. The indictment says that Rozier planned to use a leg injury to check out of a game while a member of the Hornets. This was back in March of 2023. And Rozier, he ended up actually playing just over 9 minutes in that game, and that information, it was shared with multiple bettors who then placed over $250,000 on the under for various Rozier statistics here. So Rozier is actually one of six men who were indicted in October on charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering. He was waived by the Miami Heat in April, and this is a story that's still developing. And so we will continue to update you here on NBA Today. But coming up, let's talk about Game 7. They've given us some iconic moments, particularly in the West. SGA versus Wemby. Is they going to get us to the next highlight?
Who you got?